Gerry Visca, the founding publisher of Defyeneurs, and we are live with Don Wilkinson in the largest, most inspiring issue of Defyeneurs, the top 50 relationship marketing tips. Welcome, Don. Fantastic. Don, we're super inspired, super honored. You are in this incredible issue, and I want to kick it off for listeners with a quote that you shared, which has really inspired me, actually, and it goes like this: cultivating a culture with one vision and one goal creates unbreakable bonds of teamwork. I just love that. What is this one vision that you're creating?
Well, that's a good question. I'll try to enunciate it the best I possibly can. I think what I really was trying to convey with that is that, each person, when they come into a business or whatever it is that they're doing, like what we do, they all have their different needs, wants, goals, desires, things that they want to accomplish. They have that hot button that causes them to want to join and become a part of something that they perceive can take them where they want to go or accomplish what they want to accomplish. And that only goes so far. It can go a long ways, and it can mean a lot to that person. What I found is that when somebody can recognize that as a unit, as a group, that there's a much bigger goal that can be accomplished. When I start talking to people about making a difference in people's lives, about changing, a whole direction of people's lives in a trajectory that you can only do together, maybe with a vision that maybe the company resonates, or even the industry might resonate with, some of the things we're doing by giving people the opportunity for financial independence, or maybe it's the industry that the product line represents and might have to do with anti-aging, health, whatever it might be, that every one of those areas has a bigger vision, bigger purpose. And I've just found when you can take somebody's individual purpose, help them to see that their individual purpose can weave into a much bigger, broader vision, it just raises and elevates the level of what they're all about and what they actually, that their mission is meaning more. I'll just wrap with this part about that, is that when I first got involved in relationship marketing, and to the degree where I had the success I've had, I came into it, and one of the biggest things I wanted was I wanted to make a difference in people's lives and to feel like that when it was all said and done, that there was, some legacy that was being left. And that's kind of what I'm trying to convey with that.
Outstanding. I love it. Absolutely outstanding. Don, as you know, this issue of Defyeneurs, it's the first time where we've chosen relationship marketing as an industry that we wanted to focus on. And, at Defyeneurs, this whole industry of relationship marketing really resonates with us and this energy of everyday people like you doing extraordinary things. Why did you choose relationship marketing?
Well, I think it might have chosen me more than me chose it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, in this particular case, I've always liked the industry. I've had a lot of success in conventional business, at least in a relatively local way. I had a business doing $10 million in revenue and did 7-figure income kind of stuff, and most people's standards, even in California, that's doing pretty well. So I did okay in conventional business. Had a nice business. When that all went away, when 2009 market crash, when relationship marketing came along, it came to me when I was in need and looking for something, but I didn't think it would be this industry. I actually enjoyed the industry. When I had success in other business, I would dabble in different companies, but never really had success. It's interesting, when this came along, it was the timing of where the company was at, timing and combination of where I was at, and the message being delivered by our CEO, Jeff Olson, about what we actually were going to do and accomplish on a making people better basis, that I felt that kind of aligned with a deeper purpose that I felt inside, that I wanted to leave a legacy. I just didn't know how to do it. So at that moment in time when he delivered that message on that video I watched, I thought, well, what if I actually could accomplish this and actually go out and do it, and actually at the same time be a part of a bigger vision? That kind of ties into the last question, but that's kind of, in hindsight, looking back, what was going on inside of me, and sure enough, I decided to move forward with it, and the rest has been history.
Outstanding. Don, you've done really well. You're an inspiration to others, an inspirational leader in this organization. I love that you've chosen to sort of live your why through this organization, Nerium International. Let me share with listeners why you chose Nerium International.
Well, I covered that a little bit there, but I'll just say, I think it chose me also, kind of the industry, and also that. When I originally listened to our CEO's video, and I often reference it when I speak, called The Last Run Club, where Jeff Olson, the title caught me, first of all, because I didn't think I wanted to be in a business that was anti-aging, because I didn't really know what I wanted at that moment, because I had lost everything and was at a very low point. And he delivered the message about the anti-aging industry, delivered the message about the space of beauty, talked about the legacy type of lifestyles and incomes, and making a difference in people's lives, and actually making people better, one person at a time, in that kind of language. It just really resonated with me, and it just so happened that our CEO had the fruit on the tree in terms of what he had done previously, and some of the institutions in terms of the nationally well-known places like Princeton and MD Anderson and places like that we were partnered with. Just all of the combination of all of it just spoke to me, that I thought, well, we talk about potentially building $1 billion company, and if that actually is going to happen and go beyond that, this is something that I have a responsibility to do. I felt that kind of sense of attraction to it, even beyond just wanting to jump in and actually hopefully make some money. So that's how I ended up with it.
I love it. Don, I've admired your inspiration, your creativity, and your leadership in this particular issue, the top 50 relationship marketing tips. I have a feeling that you resonate with the whole energy of everyday people doing extraordinary things. How do you see that, that energy, which is the energy of Defyeneurs, this everyday people? How does that resonate with relationship marketing?
I really am happy you asked me that question, because I really can't tell you how much. I mean, I've known you for a number, 6 or months or a year, whatever it's been. We've been associated here in the business, but I really began to get to know you better and better, and then I heard your story of what you were doing with this magazine, and a little bit about your amazing background, and authoring all the books and the people you've spoken with, and all the stuff. And I just started looking at what you were doing, and I absolutely love that, because it's a platform for people to be able to voice their greatness, and when many places don't allow it unless there's some sort of other kind of situation set up. So when I actually heard you were doing this issue, and then heard the avenues by which the way you were setting it up, I just got really, really excited about it, because there are so many people out there with incredible stories that have a message that's driven with, passion and desire and vision, and it's not all about them. It's about, changing the world and changing them one person at a time, and so many different avenues, that everything from, my sister, for an example, has, she's into, PTSD in terms of dogs and what do they call it? I'm not even sure what it's all called, but where they have, difference with dogs and how they work with people, and I know where she's going with that, and I know other people that have aligned themselves with different types of charities or events or are driven by causes, and you give them a platform and a voice in order to be able to deliver that message. I think that's incredible. I'm not sure I'm answering the question, but I do know that when you mentioned the opportunity for a issue on relationship marketing, it's a natural fit, because to me, one thing I've always loved about this industry, and one of the things that attracted me to it, even when I wasn't having success multiple times, even though no success, I was attracted to the opportunity where somebody in any background, any experience, wealthy or, somebody that literally is living in a poverty state, has an equal platform and an equal playing field by which they can go out and have incredible accomplishments. And I've always loved that, and then the systems and the teachings and the personal development associated with it. So between that model for the industry and your magazine's platform for delivering that message, I saw just an incredible opportunity to be able to be a part of this, and I'm obviously appreciative and grateful and honored to be.
I love it. Actually, absolutely excellent answer, Don. Don, I want to share with listeners another quote that you share in your profile, and I really, really love this quote. When it's about giving, the relationships will flourish by themselves. And there's no question that your you're an outstanding giver. How are you inspiring these values of giving in your team?
Excuse me. The best way I can answer this, I hope I answer it with the question you're asking. But when I think about it, when I go about it, when I look at my life and dealing with people, and I look at the success I had having lost everything, I look at coming into this business and starting to talk to people and going out and then begin to see a difference being made. I'm probably going to lose track of your question, but for those listeners that might have ADD, just hang with me. But when I think about that, and I go in and I go to talk to somebody and talk about what we're doing here. Everybody comes into this industry, this business, or comes at something usually from the position of what they can get and where they're, what it might mean to them or their life or whatever it might be. But when you start transitioning that and sharing the message with other people, most other people don't really care a whole lot about your own vision. They care about theirs. So what I've found is that when I can remove myself from expectation of anything, the best I can do, when I'm not perfect, I try to do this in any situation, and I just learn to show up and be of service, really, to show up for somebody. Literally, whatever it is. I've gone, for an example, I went from L.A. to Idaho knowing it was going to be a no-show. And you're like, what did you do that for? I had an opportunity to cancel, didn't have to go and everything. It was because I knew the person that was there was going to need me more than they did even if they had people. Because when they don't have people, you show up and you're there for them at a time when they really are at need in terms of a low. Well, that person went on today and is very successful with me and moving on to higher levels. And is that because I showed up? I don't know. But it's about giving. It's about showing up for the right motives and the right reasons with your heart in the right place. And when you do that and you can detach your expectation from a result, amazing things happen. And I think the way that transfers to people, at least what I hear back from people, is they feel the genuine sincerity and the wanting to help and make a difference. I can be driven by a lot of different things at different times, but when it comes right down to it, that's the thing that I hope every single day is the thing that drives me and keeps me in check and helps me to carry that message to other people. I hope that answers the question, but
that's beautiful.
That's the best way I understood it.
Don's last question that I want to ask you. It's your top tip to others in the industry. They're perhaps in another organization and they're not achieving the success that maybe they're hoping to achieve, and maybe they're feeling discouraged. What can they start to embrace?
That kind of ties into my last one as well, and it's interesting because a lot of people get into the industry and there's a lot of people that have a lot of success, and those people are often the people that are propped up, put on stage, the tapes are put out, the messages, the conference calls, and we hear about the rocket to success type of stories. I had a little bit of those stories, but I've had people on my team have many times greater success than me, and some people come along a little slower. But I believe there's a whole group of people out there. I absolutely know this because I've seen it and experienced it, but I believe it's going to be a wave that's coming, that just because they signed up in a company, just because they joined the company, the mission, the vision, whatever it is, they saw something. Maybe the timing in their life wasn't right. Maybe the level of need wasn't at a point that it was a burning desire that would drive them to a different level. Maybe there's some things with the company, their organizational structures, a whole bunch of factors that can exist that would make it maybe where somebody comes in the business and maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 6 years, maybe in some cases for certain companies it's 10 years or more, whoever knows what it is, whatever it might be, that the moment in time changes and all of a sudden the timing's right, and even though they joined the company 6 months, 6 years before, whatever it is, now they actually go into action because they align their timing right, their burning desire gets very clear, something changes in their life, and they are propelled to a level of greatness. It was always there, they just weren't ready to act on it. And the best example of that I can use for somebody to frame it in their mind, because every single person maybe that's listening to this call that would be in that situation, if they can discover or align or make the timing more urgent for wherever they are right now, they can enact that and actually create that type of desire now. And the best example I often use is when you think about somebody going to a gym and joining the gym, and they join January 1st, they go for a few weeks, it's kind of painful and sore, they had desires, they had motivations, they had goals, they liked the gym, they liked the trainers, but they just decided to back away, and within 6 weeks they're not going anymore. And then something changes in their life, whether it's a health condition, a relationship, a certain situation, but it might be, and now they've shifted and they have a burning desire to go back to that same gym. They look for the best trainer, they get the diet plan, they get the workout plan, and every single day they show up consistently and persistently because they're driven by the new motivation, whether it's health, relationship, whatever it happens to be, timing in their life. And the result is a whole different result 6, 8, 12 weeks later. Nothing changed with the gym, nothing changed with the trainers, nothing changed with the opportunity. They changed. And that's the example I like to use when it comes to this industry and somebody being inspired with been maybe around the industry a little longer that hasn't had the success. So that's my answer.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Don Wilkinson, One Vision, One Goal. Check them out, page 16 and 17 in the largest issue of Defyeneurs, the top 50 relationship marketing tips, an inspired leader, top income earner in the industry. Don, personally, so grateful for your inspiration, your creativity in this issue of Defyeneurs. Thank you so much for being a part of this energy.
Absolutely, and thank you for all you do and your amazing work.